Hello there and welcome to the Essentially Software channel. My name is Ian and as always I'm your host. In this channel we like to find the best business software for you so you don't have to. In today's video we're going to look at GMASS, the email marketing system that lets you get emails into the inboxes of the people that you need to contact. But before we go any further, don't forget, if you've got a burning question, then make sure you leave it in the comments below. And of course, if you use the link in the description, then you can go straight through to the software and you might even get a discount as well. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so here we are in Gmail. And the great thing about this is that it all runs through Gmail. And this is something that everybody uses generally. And even if you have a business address, like you have a proper domain with your name and then a proper domain, which is always encouraged, obviously, you can even put that through your Gmail as well. So you can still use this service, even if you don't have a, you sign up for a Gmail account and then you just change it so that way you can use a different URL for being able to send your emails out as well. So that's a good thing about it. Now, in terms of actual making sure that it goes into the inbox and stuff like that, there's a few tweaks that you can do, and they tell you all about this on the GMASS page about the CNAME itself. You can register a CNAME so that way people know that it's coming from your domain. But if you want to, you can also use the domain that they already use to send out their emails and stuff. But obviously, because so many people are using that, then sometimes it can affect whether or not it goes into spam or whether it goes into inbox. The thing I like about this program more than anything, and I've used it for a long time, and that is that the majority of the time it does go into the inbox rather than the promotions tab or the spam or anything like that, depending on who you're sending to. And I've had a lot of success using this program, which is obviously why I'm telling you about it now. So basically the way it works is you sign up for it first of all and you add the GMASS extension to your Chrome profile. Okay, so super simple to do, and you can follow that on the website. As soon as you get there, it'll ask you to install it, and you can do that, and you can use the link in the comments below to go directly there. Now, once you get to there, you've installed it, and you'll get these things pop up in your Gmail, which is this one here, to connect to an email list in Google Sheets. You can send a follow-up campaign, which is really cool, and I'll show you that in a second. And then you've also got this one, which is Launch Campaigns Dashboard. So there's your campaigns dashboard. That's your whole dashboard that basically shows you every email that you've launched from here, and then you can basically check all the details you need to do. So we don't really need to look at that now. It gets a bit more complicated if you want to look at that, but we can look at that as well in a minute. But first off, I'm going to show you how to do an email because it's super simple. So the first thing you need to do is hit compose, and you would just do a normal email as you would do. So if I just put hello there, testing GMASS. Okay, so there you go. I put that, and then I put the subject of testing. And then here you would put your recipients. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste. And then I've got a load of recipients here. And you'll see what happens when I click on here like this. Look, it actually condenses them all down like it would now. If you've got hundreds and hundreds, it actually condenses them down. So you can't even see them. It just condenses them down to a piece of text. And unless you click on it, then you won't be able to see them. But you double click on it and then you can see them all again. But the good thing is that it literally has all of them in your thing now. So then you can write whatever you want to write, add pictures or whatever you want. It's just exactly the same as you do a normal Gmail. And then instead of hitting send, which is this button here, you just have to hit this button here, which is GMASS. And once you hit GMASS, all that happens is it will basically send one individual email out to every single person on the list that you've put there. Simple as that. So it's really nice and simple and easy to use. There's no faffing around, trying to sort out different sections and what you need to put and all that sort of thing. It's literally all done through your Gmail, and that's what I really, really like about it. So it's currently sending at the moment, and it's sending it to these test thingies. This is all the thingies. So there you go. You see, it says you did it. GMASS produced your mass email, and 17 emails have been sent. This account is currently a free account, which incidentally, this is a free account, which means that I can send 50 emails a day. So that's the good thing. They give you 50 emails a day, which for some people that's enough. If you want more, obviously, then you have to buy an upgraded package essentially. Incidentally, if you're just on Gmail, then you can send up to 500 emails a day. But if you are on G Suite or anything like that, then you can send, I think it's like up to 2,000 emails a day, and that's on a rolling 24-hour period. Now for me, 500 is perfectly fine. I would probably send 300 or 400 in one email blast, and then like the next day I would send another 300 or 400. So I'm not that worried about that, but that may affect you depending on which one you want, obviously. And obviously, depending on what you want, there are different ones that you can sign up with, essentially. So therefore, just go and check out the website, link in the comments below, so that way you can see all the details. Now, that's pretty much it for what you have to do, because it's really super simple and it does everything for you. So over here you can see your campaigns. Okay, there's your campaigns just there, so you can see what we just sent. So in this case we just sent a testing email. There's your campaign report. So therefore, if I click on that, you can see all the details of your campaign directly in there. So therefore, total recipients was 12. If you had any unique open, so there's one unique open, download more for accurate tracking. Didn't open, 11 of them didn't open, so 11 people didn't open it. There shouldn't be anyone that opened it actually, to test, but unique clicks 0%, 0%, 0%, 0%, and that's all 0% because nobody opened it and thingy. But remember, if you've got a link in there, it tracks that link for you automatically as well, so that way you can see if people clicked on the link and if they, if they interacted with the links you put, if they interact with anything that you do here. You've got the unsubscribe, so if anyone unsubscribed to your thing, then you can see the unique clicks. The didn't open, that's a really good one, and I love that, and I'll explain why in a second, and stuff like that. So that's your campaign. You can see how many bounces you got. So this is the bounces, so that if any of the emails actually got sent back to you, you can check them out. You can see what you did wrong in order with the address, because sometimes when you make mistakes when you're typing or whatever, or in my case, sometimes I have to take the email scrapings that I get. Sometimes they come as images, so then I have to use some sort of program to transfer them into real email addresses, and sometimes the letters are a bit ambiguous and it comes out wrong. So therefore, I will get bounces back, which will come into here, which I'll talk about in a second as well, because it's pretty cool. You've got your clicks to tell you your opens, how many people opened it, your sent copies, and your GMASS scheduler. You can actually schedule everything you need. So here's your scheduler just here. This is how the GMASS label works with your scheduler. So you can literally schedule it all inside. So let me show you how to do that anyway, so we can schedule an email. So let's open this up. So what you would do is you go down to here and you click on the arrow next to the GMASS, and then you can see all of these cool little features just here. Now, the first one, which is really cool, is the spam solver. And this is brilliant, because what you would do is you would let's put our recipients again. So we put our recipients. Actually, I don't think you need to even put your recipients, thinking about it. So let's go test 2. There we go. And then we'll put like this. And then what you do is you come over to here and you go spam solver. Okay. And this will basically send 15 to 20 emails from your account to pretty much the addresses that I saw just there. Okay, so we hit go, and then what it's doing is it's now sending to those addresses, and then it's checking to see if they arrive in the email box, in the inbox, or whether they arrive in the promotions tab or whatever. So I think this is great, because you can actually tell what's wrong with your email, and then they give you several options to be able to change it. Okay, now bear in mind, I just put gobbledygook in here, so the chances are the majority of it is not going to arrive in an inbox. It's going to arrive in spam because of what I wrote. However, the results are still updating here. So so far we've got 3 in spam. So this isn't a good test to show you whether they arrive in the inbox or that, unless you use a proper email. So bear that in mind, okay? That's important to remember. So once they've done that, then what you can do is you can then try different settings and then try the whole thing again. So you've got turn off tracking, eliminate images, one-liner test email, send plain text only, all of these different options, and then you can start a new test with exactly the same settings. So this will basically tell you, so as you can see, one of them has arrived in the inbox. So 1 out of them is not too bad, but bear in mind these are all test emails, so therefore, and that was literally just me writing gobbledygook, and that is obviously going to be considered spam by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, but it was just to show you. Also, if you've got a link, so let's go with let's go with Essentially Software. Why not? Essentially Software.com. So this is the Essentially Software link just here, and we might have to, let me just do this, and we'll make it into a link. So it will go to essentiallysoftware.com. Then what you can do is you go down here. So this is if you put links or anything like that, you can do the link checker. So you click on the link checker, and then it will automatically check that these links are working okay. Okay, because there's nothing worse than sending out emails with a link that doesn't actually work. So in this case, you see it's got a little tick next to it there, which means that the link is working perfectly fine. And it automatically, obviously, adds a little section into it that is a link checker, or a link tracker, shall I say. So that means you can tell when somebody has clicked on the link. So bear this in mind, by the way, if you're going to copy and paste from one email to the other, that link will not be the same in each email. So you have to redo the link. That's the only thing, because if you send that email, that second email, with the same link from the first one, it's still linked to that first email. So it gets a bit confused. Now, incidentally, it does actually change it on the fly, but just to make sure that that doesn't have to happen, it's better if you always take the link and then you copy it in yourself and paste it in. So therefore, that's the link checker. And then you've got your email analyzer as well, which will basically analyze your email itself. And it will send you an email for analysis, and then it comes up with all of the analysis of the email here, look, so that way you can see what, if you can understand what's written here. Basically, it will tell you whether or not your things are invalid and all that sort of stuff, basically, so you know for sure what is going on with your email. And if you can read all that stuff and know how to read it all, then it's absolutely brilliant. So that's your email analyzer. You can also send a test email. So in this case, you could actually send a test email to one person individually, so that way you can just look at the email yourself before you send it out, make sure it's all okay, make sure it is ready to go, essentially, and it's all done and dusted, essentially, and it's all ready to go in terms of sending the email to someone. And you can check it, make sure it's all okay, and then you can then send the campaign, so that way you can always check your email and make sure it's all good. You've got your tracking options just here as well, which is basically, if you open up here, you can see you've got opens and clicks, so it will track your opens and your clicks. So if somebody opens the email, then you can check that they got it, etc., obviously. And if they click on the link, as I said, you can do that. You've got the actions here, which is the send emails or create drafts. Now, if you create drafts, then what it does is it basically creates a draft in your thing that you can then send at a later date. But bear in mind, depending on what you do with that draft, it can be classed as sending an email as well, and I'll explain that in a second. You've got your auto follow-up. So this is something, if you want to, you can follow up with an auto reply after a certain amount of days. You can also schedule it, so if you want to do it for now, or you can do it for in 5 minutes, in 1 hour, whatever you want to do. Skip weekends, which is a great thing, because what you can do is you can put in, say, 1,000 emails to be sent, and remember, you're only allowed 500 a day, so you can put in 1,000 emails to be sent. You can schedule it as now, for example, but you can say skip weekends. So therefore, if you were to schedule it on a Friday, then not all 1,000 will be sent on a Friday. Only 500 of those will be sent, because that's what Gmail has a limit of. And automatically, the other 500 will be sent normally the next day after the rolling 24-hour period. But if you skip weekends, obviously it will go through to Monday, which means that then on Monday they will send out those emails. So that's pretty cool. You can have your maximum speed of sending. You can pause it if you want to between emails, and you can repeat. Then if you go into the advanced section, this is the cool thing here. You've got send as new messages or as replies, so however you want to do. Images, default, hosted or embedded. Reply to, that's your reply to address. Your verify, now this is really cool. Verify before sending. Now, how often have you got bounce back from emails because of the fact they didn't exist and all that kind of thing? And this is annoying because it actually hurts your sending ability. So what this does is, if you click that button, it actually allows it so that when you send an email out, it will check the domain beforehand, make sure it works, and then send the email, which then stops you getting a bounce back. Okay, so that's really cool to be able to have. Now, if you don't want to do that and you just want to send them out, then that's fine. One of the reasons you might not want to put that on is because sometimes, now not always, but sometimes it may detect it as a false positive and therefore not send the email out. But the good news is you'll always get notified of this as well anyway, so that way you can see if it's real or not, and then you can just resend it. You can do all sorts of things with this. You can do an A/B test as well, where you send different emails to see what works best, basically, as well, to see how many people open this versus how many people open that, etc., and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you've got some really, really good tools here just in that little section. And the main thing is that it's so simple to use. You literally just write your email, hit GMASS, and then it sends it out. And you're ready to go. Now, there are other bits about it as well, which is really cool, and that is this up the top here, and that is your Google Sheets. You can actually connect Google Sheets to it. So therefore, if you want to do like a load of emails, you've got a load of email addresses, or you've already got a template for them or whatever, then you can basically add that Google Sheets into GMASS, and then it will send them out to all of those people. Now, and if you've got various fields as well, for instance, if you've got their first name and their last name, as long as you use the shortcode in the GMASS itself or in your Google, it will actually convert it so that it will put in their first name, their last name, or whatever you want to personalize the email as well. So to make it really cool. And not only that, if you put on there a section for like deliverability, then it will actually put a tick in the box whether it was delivered or not. So therefore you've got a Google Sheet of everything telling you whether it's been delivered, whether it hasn't, whether it bounced, whether it, whether it used their first name, last name, email address, everything you can want basically, and you can attach your Google Sheets to it, and it makes it a lot easier because it can be automatically updated from the GMASS itself. So therefore you go to your Google Sheets, you add them in, and then as the GMASS is sent out, as all your accounts are being sent out, it will put, as I said, a tick in the box, or it will put a cross in the box to let you know whether or not it was received and replied. So you don't have to go into this section here, you can just look at your Google Sheet and see. And then this bit here, which is really cool, and this is the auto follow-up, or the follow-up, shall we say. This is a manual follow-up campaign. And basically, if you want to do a campaign, so in this case we've got test 2. Let's go to test 2. So here you put in, this is a past campaign, test 2, and then you can do it to the amount of people that you send to. So if you want to send another email to those people automatically, you just click on send. This is the amount of people that opened it, so you can see how many people opened your email. This is the one didn't open, so you can see how many people didn't, and then you can send it to the ones who didn't open. So that means that those people are the ones who more than likely didn't see it because it went into spam or something like that, depending on the amount of emails you sent, obviously. But one thing I have found about GMASS compared to other ones that I've used on the market is that normally it goes into the email box, and the amount of money I've made from just using GMASS versus other ones, because of the fact that people opened it and then used my service, has been substantial. Just on one email blast alone, I probably bought in, close to 10,000 worth of work. So it was really, really worth it, and I can't recommend it highly enough, basically. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, really. But obviously, results may vary. It also depends what you write in the email and all that kind of thing. But one thing I can say is that they do it through Gmail, so that way it's got the possibility to be delivered better than a lot of the other ones on the market. I won't say them because I don't want to name them, but the point is that there's a lot of ones out there that do mass emailing and stuff like that, where you can set up campaigns. They're quite complicated to go through and do, whereas this is literally just add it to your Google and send out your email as you would normally, but hit the GMASS button and you send it to lots of people in one go without having to worry about anything at all. And when you get the replies, or when they open it, they've opened it, and that's really all you need to know, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, if they opened it, then you can follow up with a phone call for a cold call or whatever you want to do, and you're halfway there to securing your lead, basically. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's GMASS, and hopefully you're going to find it useful. So there you are, that is a little bit about GMASS, the program to be able to get your information or your emails into people's inboxes in a really simple way. The thing I like about it most is it is really simple. There's no faffing around or anything like that. It's literally just a case of put it in your Gmail, hit the GMASS, and then you send it out to everyone in one go. So you can even use your Gmail templates. If you've already got templates in there and you want to send it to a load of people in one go, you can use those as well. And it just makes, if you're already used to Gmail, it makes adding that little extra thing into it a lot easier than any of the other things. So, I highly recommend it. As I said, I use it in my business all the time. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, don't forget, if you follow the link in the description below, then, you go straight to the software, or maybe you can even get a discount as well. Thank you very much for joining us on the Essentially Software channel, the channel that tries to find business software for you so you don't have to. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.